Up next, it is Truth or Fake, our daily fact-checking segment in association with the France 24 Observers. I'm joined by James Creedon. Hi there,
Tom.
James. Now, you're showing us two videos today that have been circulating on Facebook since the end of September, and they claim to show Muslim people praying in the street and blocking the traffic. And these scenes are supposedly happening in the UK.
That's right. So 22nd of September was when these images, the first video first appeared. It was on Facebook with the caption in Hindi. London, that reigned over half the world for 75 years ago, is today in the clutches of Islam. Now, the video I'm going to show you is a shared version of that on Twitter, where again you have the claim that this is London in the grip of Islam. So let's just take a look at the video in question. And what you can see is a man in the middle of a road, and he does appear to be praying. And there's various, I suppose, indications in the background, if you look at the buildings, if you look at the vehicles and whatnot, as to where this might be. But in any case, this got shared quite a lot. And let's just take a look now at some of the details in that video, as our Observers team have been doing, Tom. Now, there's a taxi that goes by at one point, and this taxi is the e-taxi company. It's an online taxi service in Istanbul. And you also have Erikli. You can see that detail right here. And that's actually a bottled water brand also sold in Istanbul, in Turkey. So you're kind of getting the sense that this is probably not in London at all. And indeed, a reverse image search brings us to this piece in the Turkish press where a man, if you actually listen to the audio as well, you hear a man speaking Turkish. What he says in Turkish is, "My uncle is praying in the middle of the E5." And indeed, a keyword search leads to articles such as this, talking about an incident that didn't really have any real consequence and wasn't of any real, nothing bad came of it, but it was just a moment that grabbed media attention. And indeed, it didn't happen in the UK at all. And it wouldn't take a genius to figure that out. But I suppose this was shared in India. Perhaps further away from the UK, people might be less inclined to spot the signs that this isn't a UK street scene.
Okay, so clearly not a video shot in London. You've got another video with the same claim, a Muslim prayer street in the UK. Was this really in the UK this time?
All right, well, you're probably guessing that it might not be, right? And indeed, if you look at this particular secularism, I'll show you the video first. Secularism will turn your country into an Islamic state, while natives can keep honking Islam is at work 24/7. This is the UK. So let's take a look at this scene. And again, if you have any familiarity with urban I suppose, scenes in the UK, this should be looking very wrong indeed. And I suppose here in Paris, we were probably able to recognise that it is actually Paris, or Greater Paris, in fact. And there again, if you just look at some of the details in the background, you've got a clothes brand there, Kaimu, you've got Crédit Mutuel, which is a bank. None of these are in the UK. You also at one point see a bus stop, Mairie de Clichy, so this is actually the northern Paris suburbs. So it's completely and utterly misleading, Tom.
Yeah, there was a van that said livraison, deliveries going past as well. So lots of indicators there. Now, this comes in the context of increasing amounts of fake news in India, especially with regards to the Muslim population there.
That's right. So this is, these were being spread in India about scenes that were claiming to show Muslim street prayer, or sort of, in the UK. But a lot of this sort of fake news is happening in India as well. This is one Indian publication. India's anti-Muslim fake news factories are following an anti-Semitic playbook. They provide quite a number of details. For example, a 15-year-old boy in the Gopalgani district. He drowned on the 28th of March this year. There was absolutely no indication that drowning had any a sort of malice involved, no injury marks, and it was in OP India, which is a sort of BJP ruling party mouthpiece. It was claimed that he was killed in a mosque as ritual sacrifice by Muslims, which is just an absolutely outrageous in fabrication. You can see the original article there. So there are a lot of examples of this. Our own Observers team was looking into Corona Jihad. This goes back to last year, when there was completely fabricated stories doing the rounds in India about Muslims deliberately spreading COVID-19 through sort of coughing and licking plates and whatnot, and it was just a completely fabricated story without going into all of the details of it. It was nothing related to any attempts to spread COVID-19 on purpose, but that's what was circulating online. So there is an awful lot of misinformation. A lot of it is willful misinformation, and it is in a bid to cast, I suppose, the Muslim population in a negative light. And that hate speech coupled with hate speech and all of that, it is leading to Hindu supremacist vigilante groups lashing out on occasion. And there is this impression that many Hindus now believe really that India's biggest problem is the Muslim population. So and this sort of hate speech, this sort of fake news and hate speech are certainly fueling that perception and demonising the Muslim population in India.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for sharing that with us. James Creedon with today's edition of Truth or Fake. Thank you.